Hey everybody, this is Sheets, and this is going to be new for me. I'm going to be doing the NFL slate preview on my own. I'm going to give you my takes on what I think are good games to attack and go over some individual plays as well. This is usually either me and Bobby or Bobby and Brody might do it. I don't know if Bobby and Brody are going to get a chance to do it today. If not, I'm sure they'll be around between now and Sunday to maybe do something, and then Sunday morning at 11:30 we'll certainly be around to finish up. I did put projections up on the site for premium members, and the way I'm going to do it is just again a little bit differently. I'm not going to go full game by game, but I'm going to just run down what I think my best stacks, my best teams to target are in general, and then I'm going to go over some individual plays at the various positions. And it's a little bit of a diluted slate because of the Thanksgiving Day games. There are only 10 games today. And I'm just going to start with I'm just kind of looking at my sheets here, and I feel as though there's two teams that kind of stand out, and then you could spread a little bit. So you might be able to get some low-owned opportunities. Let's just start with what I feel is the best overall play, and that would be the Tampa offense. And that would be the combination of and this is the way I always look at it, the combination of Evans, Godwin, and Tom Brady. Again, I always look at it in terms of wide receivers with quarterbacks. Okay, wide receivers and quarterbacks all look good together. That's the way I look at a good team. All right. If you have just one good receiver, whatever, it really doesn't interest me. You have to put all of them together. So I do think that is definitely the best play, the best team overall. And the good news is that you could have some very decent logical run backs from the other side of it. Because I do have actually of Indianapolis as being like my sixth best team. So you can pick good run backs from the other side to make that work. Those being Michael Pittman or what's his name? Zach Pascal would probably be my next one. He's only 3,500 actually. So this would be the top game, the top overall team, I guess, would be Tampa. We're going to get to whether I think it's the top overall game, but let's start with the fact that I have Tampa rated number one, and I do have Indianapolis as one of those, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 tertiary teams. I have one secondary team and 5 tertiary teams, so probably 7 teams altogether that I want to kind of stack and target. So the fact they're both coming from the same game makes it pretty appealing. The next one I have on the list is, sorry that he's not here, but to comment on this, but I do like the Chargers as my second best team. And so what we're looking at is Herbert and Keenan Allen and what's his name? Mike Williams. The other thing that's good about this is you can get a, I don't know where this pricing came from, but it just seems like a misprint almost. I mean, you get Jared Cook at literally a stone 3K, but he's been 3K. I mean, he just hasn't done much, I guess, but I'll go back to him at 3K with 5 targets, So this is the Chargers rate for me to be the second best option. Maybe they'll be a little lower owned because of the perception of Denver's defense. Maybe, I don't know, but I do feel as though the numbers indicate that they are the second best option. So I would encourage you to play them. Now, as I mentioned, there's kind of like a glut of teams in this tertiary section. That'd be like 5 different teams. So I'm just going to go through these one at a time. And they're all very close. First one I have is Minnesota. And that'll probably get low ownership as well because of the perception of the Niners as a good defensive team, which they are. And the fact that, Niners are going to run the ball a lot, so they're probably going to keep the total number of plays down. Plus, you get Justin Jefferson at a very, very difficult $8,300 price tag. Nonetheless, I do like it. The other thing is that you can also, I would imagine, be well within your rights to have a very nice, easy run back. Well, not easy with respect to pricing, but as far as concept goes with Deebo Samuel, So you play Cousins with Jefferson and or Thielen, you run it back with Samuel, and you're kind of in business over there. So I do like that. The next tertiary play out of, how many did I say? 1, 2. I'll get back to it in a second, I guess. I have a couple. Second out of 5, I think, that's going to be Philadelphia. So with Philadelphia against the Giants, the guys you want to use, obviously quarterback Jalen Hurts, and you have Devonte Smith, tight end, and Goddard looks to be a very strong play at tight end. So you can Devonte Smith, wide receiver, sorry, and Goddard tight end. So you compare those through, you could stack those guys up like that. And then on the run back, I mean, you could just kind of take your pick. I mean, you could run it back with Barkley if you want, presuming he plays, obviously. What do we got on Barkley? He was limited Thursday. Kadarius Toney, non-participant. Well, that's not good. We'll have to just kind of see who's available. Shepard, he's a non-participant. So watch the board. But the more of those guys that are non-available, the more likely Darius Slate remains a good play. The more likely Kenny Golladay remains a good play. So this is another good stack, and that would be Philadelphia. The other one, and again, I didn't even notice this when I was first going over Minnesota, was San Francisco. I actually have San Francisco as a tertiary value here, and that would be, as you would know, Jimmy Garoppolo, and as the aforementioned Deebo Samuel. But now you could play Brandon Ayuk as part of a double stack if you want, or you could play tight end George Kittle. It's kind of a tough one to play, isn't it? I mean, both these teams have the impression of being like really run heavy defensive teams, but it's what my numbers are showing me. And if you're getting, for me, Minnesota, the 3rd ranked team, and then you're getting San Francisco, the 5th. I mean, it seems like a good game stack, honestly. So I have a feeling it's going to be pretty low owned. So that's that. And I mentioned Indianapolis already. I mentioned Pittman, Pascal. If you want to play Wentz, you can do that. Then the last team that I would want to target would be Green Bay. And that would be at home against the Rams. Again, there's a theme here, another kind of difficult matchup, right? But maybe that keeps their ownership low. So you get Garoppolo, you get Adams, and with what's his name on the field? Why is his name escaping me? For the Rams, Ramsey, Jalen Ramsey on the field, maybe keep the ownership down. Maybe keep it down for a good reason. That's a tough matchup, but it is what it is. You can play Marcus Valdez-Scantling if you want at 4,100, and then go right back to, oh my God, they have Cooper Kupp at 9,600, only in America. That's amazing. However, I mean, just look at these numbers. Actually, none of them are 3X. Actually, one of them. Yeah, I think they might have priced me out of the Cooper Kupp business, which makes the stack a little bit less appealing as well. So yeah, there's that. And that's pretty much all I have as far as the teams go. You have Tampa up top, Chargers next, then you got this glut of Minnesota, Philly, San Francisco, Indianapolis, and Green Bay. Next, let me go through some individual plays and see what stands out. Now, again, there is some injury news pending, but let's first go to the running back position, because as it stands right now, the running back position for me, there's like a clear standout, and that would be A.J. Dillon. Presuming, of course, that Aaron Jones is out. Now, if Aaron Jones plays, then everything is different. But assuming Aaron Jones is out, A.J. Dillon looks to be, the clear alpha play on the slate. The next best play that I have on the slate is running back, is, again, this is presuming you can afford it, would be Christian McCaffrey. He's 9,000. He remains to have a ceiling. He remains in the position to have a ceiling. And if you can afford him, he's great. And then you have kind of the same kind of spend ups from last week, who I just have as worse. You have Jonathan Taylor, Eckler, I just have them as worse than McCaffrey. I think we're going to spend that much. I think it's just supposed to go up to McCaffrey. The next two plays that I would make are more mid-range plays, and that would be Miles Gaskin at the 5,600 range. He looks pretty good. And then also at the same range. Wow, it's amazing this guy's gotten down this cheap, and that'd be James Robinson. I mean, obviously presuming he plays, but if he does, I mean, I think he's a really, really strong value. So for me, the values are AJ Dillon, Miles Gaskin, and James Robinson, with McCaffrey being the preferred spend up. With respect to, you want to do wide receiver first? Sure. So with wide receiver, it's Devonte Adams, the spend up. He's the best play. He seems to always be the best play. Godwin, he looks pretty good. It's not a great day for one-offs here. You got Pittman. I mean, he looks like an okay play. Boy, the one-offs are very, very grim. And certainly the value looks to be pretty grim as well. I really don't have anything. Let me see what I can do for you with respect to even at points per dollar wide receiver position. I mean, you could get some scratches and stuff to make these things, pop. But right now, I don't really have all that much with respect to value. I think Pittman's probably the best point per dollar play. You want to play Corey Davis, you can do that. Right? So there's Corey Davis, Laviska Shenault, right? So those are the value plays for me. But overall, in the wide receiver position, it's not a lot of value over there at all this week. Goddard, I mentioned before, best play tight end for me, best play by a lot, and Jared Cook, 3K, who I mentioned earlier. I like him also. So we did wide receiver, did running back. I'm not going to do quarterbacks, specifically because it's always in the context of a stack. And I guess I'll look at defense next. So defense, the top play is going to be extremely high owned. I imagine it's going to be Houston. They're playing the Jets and they're 2,300, so they are going to be very popular. And I don't really like playing very popular defenses. But let me just go over some other good ones here. There's the Bengals at 2,700 against Pittsburgh. They look good. Probably the Panthers actually look really good at 3,100. So probably pay up for them. Then there's the Falcons, the Bengals. So these are my teams. So it'll be Houston, but they're chalky. Falcons, Bengals, Panthers. I think those are the top plays, and maybe even the Eagles. So again, I'm not too hung up on the defenses anyway. So that's pretty much all I have for you guys this week. Again, just to kind of summarize, and I can summarize the whole slate probably in 30 seconds here, right? Stacks, it was Tampa, then LAC, then Minnesota, Philly, San Fran, Indianapolis, and Green Bay. Running backs, McCaffrey is the spend up. Then we have Gaskin and I can only do it in 30 seconds if my memory is not completely shot. But whoever I said at 5,600, there's another one. Come on, Eric, what's your problem? Miles Sanders? Who was it? Oh, James Robinson. Sorry, she's turning. And then wide receiver, Pittman, good value. Tight end, Goddard. These are the standouts for the week as far as I'm concerned. So if Bobby and Rody get to you before the end of the week, great. If not, Sunday, 11:30. And good luck on week 12.